Oh,
All right, so I'm gonna just start. We don't have a lot of updates, but I'll start with what we have, and then I'm just gonna really briefly talk about study permits and who might be applying for those and what that application would look like. And then we'll do questions and answers, hopefully. So the updates that I have are fairly brief. I did notice that there are appointments right now open at the embassy in Warsaw. So that is an update. And actually, when you check for locations, it looks like they've opened up more spots because Poland Warsaw visa application is coming up. Visa application center is coming up twice. So always make sure that you're checking here at this link for that I've got here for where the locations are where you can give your biometrics. In Poland in particular, it looks like they have opened up the embassy there so you can make appointments to give biometrics there. I also found that you, and some of you might already have this, but you can actually sign up, put your email into like a system so that you'll get updates from immigration when they give announcements about Ukrainian programs. So that may be something valuable. You can use this link here and then you'll get an email directly from immigration about news updates related to Ukrainian programs. The rumors are that immigration is looking into counterfoil list visas, but they haven't officially announced this. So what I mean by that is right now, once you get approved, you get asked to bring your passport in and then they send it away usually, or they give it to someone else and they actually put a sticker into the passport and that is the visa. And then they send it back to you. But most lawyers in Canada and other people have been saying, why don't you just give the visa another way instead of having to collect the passports and tying up workers to do that step once it's been approved. And so what we've been told is that they're looking into this, but again, right now there's been no change, so people will still get the visa, the stamp in their passport. So some people, and this question actually came up in one of the WhatsApp groups, but some people are getting work permit approvals before they get their passport requests, which is really confusing. So this is what the letter will look like, and it may come right directly to your email that you used to apply for the work permit. So you would have clicked off that you wanted an open work permit as a Ukrainian. And so this is what they'll get. And normally you would show this letter to Canada Border Services when you arrive at the border. But this isn't your travel document. So it is very confusing because it's saying you've been approved for a work permit. But normally they would still ask for the passport. So just not to be confused by this document, you'll still need the visa or the single journey travel document to go along with this. And it has been brought to immigration's attention that this is out of order because normally you would not get this letter until you had the visa in your passport. So it is a little confusing if that happens to you, though that is normal for what's going on right now. I also want to draw your attention to they are keeping stats. So they're trying to keep the processing times down, but I think we're seeing them stretch out a little bit further than the normal 2 weeks. They're not counting the 2 weeks until the person gives biometrics. So right away, there's a little bit of a delay if you can't get your biometrics appointment for a week, say. But you can see here they've received a lot of applications, so they are quite busy, but they are still trying to get them processed within a reasonable amount of time. I haven't heard anyone going a month yet, but I think they are definitely over 2 weeks. Study permits. I'm just going to talk really briefly about this because it won't affect a lot of people, but I want to explain who's getting a study permit and who might need one and who's going to apply for one in case that applies to anyone. And I know this is being recorded, so we can listen to it later. So most minor children, so children under 18 who would be attending like elementary school, middle school, high school, they'll actually get their study permits given to them at the port of entry, so at the border when they arrive in Canada. if you have minor children who are in Canada and they were here as visitors, for example, or they weren't given a study permit at the border, but their parents were given work permits, they'll probably either have a visitor record, which will look like similar to the study permit, and the work permit, similar looking document. And that's okay for them. They can use that to go to school if that is the case, to go to sort of those younger levels of school, so up until high school. But if you have a Ukrainian who is over 18 and they want to go to college or university here, they'll actually need a study permit, and they'll need to apply specifically for that study permit. So what immigration is suggesting those people do is apply for the emergency travel document or visa. And then once they're inside Canada, they can apply. They can always apply once they're here for the study permit. They will not be charged a fee. The application will be prioritized, so be processed faster than normal, but they will need to actually be accepted into the school, at one of the schools they want to attend. So that's slightly different for those older children that might want to go to university or college while they're in Canada, or maybe they were in college before, but they wanted to continue their studies here. They'll need to get a specific study permit for that. So just really briefly, and this is just for reference later, mostly in most situations, I think, that's an online application. So similar to how we talked about last week with the open work permit from inside Canada. You'll create a portal, and I'm just linking some guides here on how to fill in the study permit application. I don't think we need to go over it in detail, but if you have questions on it, you can contact me. But these are useful links that will help you understand how a student who wants to go to university who's Ukrainian would apply for that study permit from inside Canada. They'll have basically one form, so it's pretty simple application. This application should change your conditions or stay in Canada as a student. They'll have a statutory declaration of common law if they have a common law partner. They might not, or their partner's not here. A use of representative if they have someone applying for them. I'm just linking the checklist here, but later we'll talk about what kinds of things they're uploading. This is just some information here on, they'll want to indicate that they are Ukrainian, so they won't pay the fee, and this is sort of the information that they're going to actually put on the form. So they'll use again that Ukraine 2022 on the form to show that they qualify for the priority processing and they don't have to pay the fees. Then they will upload documents. So there are a few more documents required just because you have to be accepted to the school. So again, you have your proof that you're fee exempt. So you'll basically say that you're exempt from the fees because of the special measures for Ukraine. A receipt if you need to restore your status. And again, if someone is in a situation where they need to restore their status, that's a more difficult situation. So let me know, and I can maybe answer some more questions on that. They'll have a copy of their passport, a copy of their visitor record or whatever permit they may have, a copy of a marriage certificate if that's applicable, proof of enrollment, proof of academic standing if they've already been going to school here, proof of upfront immigration medical. So again, Ukrainians coming to Canada are going to be asked to have an immigration medical within 90 days. So they will have that probably while the time they're applying for a study permit. And then there's no exemption so far to uploading proof of means of support or funds, and that is simply proof that you'll be able to pay for the tuition to attend the educational institution. So that's kind of it for study permits. I don't think that's most people's concern right now, but I just wanted to have that kind of on the record in case you want to look back to it. But I'm happy now to kind of answer any of your questions that you might have. So I'll stop sharing this and I'll let you guys raise your hand or type in the chat.